Hey everyone, thumbnails are the first thing people see in the search engines before they watch a video. So if you have a crappy looking thumbnail and not a great title, then nobody's going to watch your video. And if nobody watches your video, then all those hours or days that you spent dreaming up an idea and editing and optimizing, promoting your video will be in vain. So it really starts with a great thumbnail, because the thumbnail is what people see in YouTube search and also Google search. Sometimes you can get a huge thumbnail in YouTube search that definitely helps get traffic. So if you can get traffic from YouTube search and Google search, then you can generate a lot of traffic to your videos. So in this video, or on this live stream, or if you're watching the replay, I'm going to be talking about how to make custom thumbnails so that they stand out from the crowd. And if they stand out, then you have a better chance of your video getting watched. And also YouTube pushes it out to suggested videos. So we're going to talk about some of the benefits of having a custom thumbnail. We're also going to be looking at some of the tools you can use, some of the best practices, some mistakes that people make, and we're also going to look at some examples from different channels. And we're also going to talk about outsourcing the design of your thumbnails, because many people don't have time or they suck at creating graphics. So my name is Herman Drost, and my channel is all about how to grow your audience on YouTube so you can generate traffic, leads, and sales on autopilot. So if you want to get those traffic, those leads, and those sales, it starts off with a great custom thumbnail. So I want to welcome everybody here. We've got, wow, BTS Stan has got a lot of, hope that's not a spam comments, but anyway, BTS Span, and let's see what else we got here. Patman Gaming, good to see you. So, I'm going to go straight into looking at some of the benefits of creating a custom thumbnail. So this video is about how to make custom thumbnails on YouTube in 2020 that stand out from the crowd. And here's some of the benefits. So impressions means that people see your thumbnail in the search engines. So if people see that impression, see that on thumbnail, the more they see it, then the higher chances of people clicking on that thumbnail and watching your videos. So if they click on the thumbnail, how many times they click on the thumbnail, that's the impressions click-through rate. So if you get a high impressions click-through rate, which is normal, is usually between 2 and 10%, then there's a greater possibility that your video is going to be pushed out by YouTube to suggested videos. So it's going to trigger the algorithm. YouTube's going to suggest your videos. And as a result of that, you're going to get more views, more subscribers, and if you remember the YouTube Partner Program, and you got your channel monetized, you're going to get more ad revenue. So you're going to make more money from your channel, and also you're going to grow your channel. So there's a great many benefits of having a great custom thumbnail. So I thought I'd put together a checklist of all the things that make a great thumbnail. So high quality photo. I suggest you when you create your videos, then if you're doing it with whether you're doing it with a phone or your phone camera, or you have your own camera, then definitely take a high quality video. Usually what I do is, now these days, I try to think of the thumbnail even before I create the video. So I'm already thinking, what would the thumbnail be like for that video? And then when I'm shooting the video, I'll stop, or in between the clips, I'll take some photos with my camera, just switch it over to the photo view instead of the video view, and take some shots, because you're sort of in the flow of your video. So it's a good idea to kind of take a few clips that can be used as your thumbnail. So some of the ways that you can make your thumbnail stand out is you can show your face in the thumbnail. You can tell a story. So try to kind of tease people about what's coming up in the video. Use contrasting colors. So you want to have colors that complement each other. So it could be black and white. It could be red and yellow and blue. I would say only use like 2 or 3 colors. And then you also want to saturate the colors. So when you saturate the colors, it helps for the thumbnail to pop out more. And then use bold text. So bold text, like big text that stands out on a mobile phone. And use up to, probably keep it under 3 fonts is good. And then in your thumbnail, what's being proven is to use arrows or circles that emphasize, what you're trying to do in your video. Another thing is that you want to avoid clutter. You don't want to clutter up the thumbnail with so many things that look so busy. Nowadays, people want a simple thumbnail that's clear, easy to read, stands out from your competitors, and stands out, in the YouTube search. And also, you don't want to repeat the exact title you have for your video. So maybe you can use different words, or maybe you can just use a couple of words. Sometimes you can also not use any words at all. Just have a great design, but not use any. Don't use any too many. Don't use any text in it as well. Avoid the timestamp. So the timestamp appears in the bottom right of the video. So if you put text at the bottom right hand corner, then what happens is going to be covered up with a timestamp. And you want to make sure you test it on a cell phone. So if you have the Morning Fame software, then you can view it on different, tablet, mobile phone, etc. So check that it's viewable on a very small screen. Then another thing you want to do is also complement the title. So your title and thumbnail should work together to encapsulate the content of your thumbnail, of your video. So and I put out some videos to this previously about how to create a great title. You want to get the right keywords in there. You want to have a compelling ending to your title that compels viewers to click on the video. So your title and your thumbnail should match to emphasize, try to reinforce why people want to click on it and visit your video. And the last thing, probably many other things as well, but split testing. So you might think you've created a beautiful thumbnail, but it's not until you've tested it. So you might create a beautiful thumbnail, you might have spent hours creating your thumbnail, but then your video bombs. So, but then, sometimes I've created a very simple thumbnail and put it up for my video, and the video's done well. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. If you have a great title and a title that your audience that's very interested in, then of course, they'll want to watch your video. So sometimes even having a kind of crappy title, even thumbnail, but the topic is something that people are really interested in, then they're going to watch it anyway. But, with all the factors being equal, then you definitely want to come up with a great title and a great thumbnail that complement each other so that people can, be motivated to want to watch your video. And, something to keep in mind is that you got to look at your competitors' thumbnails. Does your thumbnail stand out from all the other thumbnails of your competitors? So if it stands out, then people are more likely to click on it. So those are just some things to really keep in mind by looking at this checklist. But split testing is a great way to see. You can try 2 different thumbnails, and then you can choose, after, say, like 2 weeks or maybe 4 weeks, TubeBuddy, which does the split testing for you, will decide, the original thumbnail is the best or your variation. And I'm going to touch on that later. But Abdul, I'm going to be talking about some of the different softwares you can use in a couple of minutes. Good to see you, Chris and DJ Sketchware. So moving right along, we're going to look at some examples here from different channels. So here's Mr. Beast. He's a very prolific YouTuber that gives away a lot of money and gets millions of views on his videos. And at the top here you can see the thumbnail is where he's surprising his girlfriend with 100,000 roses, and he puts himself in the middle of the roses. So he's done the same with I think 10 million trees, and he's put trees around himself, etc. But people are very curious. You got say when you think of a title, when you see a title, "Surprise my girlfriend with 100,000 roses," and then seeing the thumbnail, you're probably very curious that you want to check it out. And some of his other ones, Lamborghini race, winner keeps the Lamborghini. So people are probably very curious, like, who's going to win the Lamborghini? And then I gave my credit card to random people, and then showing a child that is grabbing, the credit card. So look at the views these are getting. Of course, this is not typical for most channels, but 17 million views for this one, 19 million, 23 million. And this one's 17 million, 21 million, and here's 11 million. Carter Scherer. He's more like teenagers. Well, I think he might be in his 20s. But he got very bright colored thumbnails. So these really stand out. So building a huge 3-story Lego house, 1.2 million views 6 days ago. I got a tattoo of my ex-girlfriend. Probably not a real tattoo. So so he's kind of, I think all of these thumbnails, they kind of, I think he's using layers. So himself is in a different layer to like these other ones. Everything's on a separate layer. So you can see it. All of these images are kind of separately layered on top of each other. Okay, then I don't know if you can see this one. Maybe we can bring it up a bit. Let's have a look, see if I can move this up. Okay, Dan Locke, he's into making money, and his thumbnails are very stand out. You know, he's always got his face in there, and then he's got multiple layers, and you know they do very well. Okay, let's look at another slide. Jesse Elder came across this one, and you can see that the thumbnails are a different shape. So they got the sort of oval shape instead of the normal square shape. And this makes the, you know, being different is often better than trying to be better than your competitors. So I think this makes his thumbnail stand out. And then I got another one here, Mark Rober, where probably the one that stands out here is the one testing if sharks can smell a drop of blood. Then he's got a drop of blood on his fingernail, on his fingers there in the thumbnail, and then the shark in the background. So that one's got 46 million views 6 months ago. So the other one's 38 million, 9.8 million, but that one with the shark and the blood on his fingers, 46 million views. So I think that, you know, that's an awesome thumbnail that makes people want to click on it. I want to talk about impressions click-through rate, because if you get a high click-through rate on your thumbnail, then it'll be pushed out to more videos, more channels on YouTube, especially in the suggested videos, which appear on the right side of the watch page. So impressions click-through rate, according to YouTube, measures how often viewers watched a video after seeing a registered impression on YouTube. So basically, it means that an impression is, you know, your thumbnail is going to appear, especially within the first 7 days. You know, the first 7 days is like a crucial period where your video goes out, and then YouTube shows your thumbnail on the internet. And then if people click on it, and usually what happens is, you know, your subscribers are the ones that are you, or your fans, your subscribers are the ones that are clicking on your thumbnails or watching your video first. So you'll get, probably initially, you'll get a high click-through rate, maybe the first 2, 3, or 4 days. But then after your subscribers are finished watching, then your click-through rate may go down, because if it's not a good thumbnail, it's not going to be surfaced to non-subscribers. But if you continue to get a lot of traffic, and the click-through rate remains steady or goes up, that means your thumbnail is doing pretty well. So impressions click-through rate measures how often viewers watched a video after seeing your thumbnail on YouTube. And according to YouTube, half of all channels and videos on YouTube have an impressions click-through rate that can range between 2 and 10%. So I asked in my Facebook group, you know, what kind of impressions click-through rate people typically got. I think my highest was like, I think 13.2% was one of my videos. I got quite a few that I got 12%, etc. So it's always good to drill down into your traffic sources to see, you know, average view duration, click-through rate. So if you have a high click-through rate of a video that's like 6 months old, a year old, or a couple of years old, like some of my videos, then you know that that thumbnail is doing well, and it's probably getting pushed out to suggested videos. So initially, when you upload your video, you might get a high click-through rate, but then after a few days, then it might drop. So, but if it's doing really well, then I would highly recommend making a similar video on similar video, probably on the same topic, but from a different angle, and see if you can kind of capitalize on that traffic. So half of all channels on channels and videos on YouTube have impressions click-through rate between 2 and 10%. Some views don't count towards impressions, like from external websites and from end screens. So if your video is on a social media site or on your own website, then that impressions click-through rate doesn't count. So that impressions click-through rate will vary based upon the type of content, the audience, and where on YouTube the impression was shown. So it's going to depend on your topic. Maybe if you're a gaming channel, or if you're a kids channel. So it's going to vary. What might work for one channel may not work for your channel, because you have different content. You have a different audience. Maybe it shows up on YouTube in a different place. So there are, click-through rate is not just on its own, but there are other factors that go into measuring the click-through rate. Then if a video gets a lot of impressions, as I mentioned before, such as appears on the home page, it's natural for the click-through rate to be lower. So you get a lot of impressions on people's home pages, then that will shrink the click-through rate. And then it's best to compare click-through rates between videos over a long term, and keep in mind how the traffic sources will affect the click-through rate. So as I mentioned before, in the beginning, you might have a high click-through rate. So you want to kind of measure the click-through rate over a long period of time. So usually in TubeBuddy, if you do a split test, if you upgrade to the Legend version, you can do split test of the thumbnails, and they usually set like a default of 14 days, but it's been known that the first 4 days, probably because your subscribers are watching your video, that it's not going to be a true split test. So you want to test at least 14 days, if not longer, and then TubeBuddy will tell you why your variation thumbnail, the second thumbnail that you created as a variation, is doing better, or the original is doing better, and then you can choose the one that got a statistically more significant traffic. So that's a little bit about impressions click-through rate. It's not impressions click-through rate is not by itself, but it has other factors that actually go into it. So who was talking about that? Abdul was talking about, tell me the software for making the thumbnail. So here we've got free tools and paid tools. So I've been using Canva. Hopefully I'll be able to give you a little demo from that a little later. But Canva's a free graphic software, and you can also download that or install the app on your phone, and it gives you a bunch of templates. You can modify the templates. You can start from scratch. Easiest way is to just take one of the templates and then remove and add your own images, text, etc. Capwing, I've talked about that before. This is a nice little tool that you can use to create slideshows. You can it'll create subtitles for your videos, and also you can create thumbnails with it very easily. You can just go into Capwing. It's free, capwing.com, and then you just choose the dimensions, which is usually for thumbnails like I choose 1920 by 1080, and then you can, even within the software, you can just choose a selection from all the photos I have. So they have free photos you can use, and then you can just add the text, and then you publish it and download the thumbnail. So very easy. If you have a Mac, you can use Keynote. It's like PowerPoint. So PowerPoint or Keynote are kind of simple programs for creating thumbnails. Pixlr is another one that's free. And GIMP, I heard that I haven't used it actually, but some people say it takes a long time to learn it. But let me know in the comments or let me know in the chat, what software are you using to create YouTube thumbnails? I've been using Canva. I'll use Pixelmator to remove the background. By the way, to remove backgrounds, there's a tool called I think it's called removebg.com. So remove background, but I think you got to pay for it. I forget how much it is, but if you want to remove the background of, when you take a photo, then you can try that tool. But let me know what software you're using to create thumbnails. Some paid tools, Photoshop. This is probably the best graphic software that people use, but it takes a long time to learn it. And a recent one is Thumbnail Blaster. This is something that I use sometimes as well, because if you don't use the split testing feature in TubeBuddy, you can pick up Thumbnail Blast. I'll hopefully show you a demo of that. But it has a bunch of templates that you can use, and you can modify the templates. You can use images from Pixels and Pixabay, etc. So Thumbnail Blast is really good. And then TubeBuddy also has a thumbnail maker that's built into it. So you could use that. You don't even have to leave YouTube. You can use the TubeBuddy thumbnail creator, and you can just make your thumbnail, while you're optimizing your video. Pixelmator's for the Mac. This is pretty handy too, because I've been using that one to remove the background for my photos. So it's pretty good. And PicMonkey, I haven't used that, but I think that's a paid option as well. So let's see. Chris is saying that she uses Canva daily. So the thing I like about Canva is that you don't have to just use it for thumbnails, but you can use it to create ebooks. You can create banners. You can create reports, cheat sheets. It's even all for free. You can just use the templates provided, and then quickly switch out the text or switch out the all the photos, images that you see in the template. So it's a great one. And Ted, good to see you, Ted. He's using the Thumbnail Blaster. Yeah, it's a great tool. I see they're promoting it a lot these days. But I use that one too sometimes. And then high limit slots is saying using Thumbnail Blaster and SMS Creative, which I haven't heard before. And Jamaica, I'll get to your question later. So so those are some tools. And let's see. Here's Thumbnail Blaster. Create attention-grabbing thumbnails in 3 clicks with the world's uses AI thumbnail creation app. And then I got my link there. But let me see if I can. I think I got a little demo here. Let's see if I can play it. Give me a yes if you can hear this. Here's one of my channels. Click Thumbnail Creator. I can select a video from this channel, from the YouTube link. or start with no video. So let's do start with no video. Now I can choose from all these templates. Let's select this video marketing template. Click use template. I can move around the text by just dragging and dropping. I can add shapes. I can upload an image. I can change the background. I can use solid, use gradients. I can use patterns. I can change the opacity. I can add a shadow. I can add a stroke. I can add layers. Duplicate it if I want. I can bring the image forward. Bring the image to the front. Send it backward. Send it to the back. Flip horizontally. Flip vertically. Duplicate it. Trash it. Or lock it. I change this to thumbnail maker. Click change image. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to select an image of myself. Okay, I might change this image later to find a better image. I can save it as a JPEG or click save and continue. I can save it as a PNG file, JPEG file, save it with a watermark, or publish on YouTube. So that was just a quick demo of Thumbnail Blaster. I kind of extracted it from, I have a review video of Thumbnail Blaster which incorporated, that clip if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's a great, if you're struggling creating your own thumbnails, then Thumbnail Blaster is great, Canva is great. And later on I'll talk a little bit about, even if you want to outsource your thumbnail creation, I have a solution for you as well. But yeah, that was Thumbnail Blaster. And let's see, the next one is Canva. So Chris is praising Canva. So let me see if I can show you a quick demo. This was probably a couple of years ago, so I kind of extracted this, but it's good to get those yeses that you can hear it. So here we go on Canva. Choose a template and customize it. So I'm going to click this YouTube thumbnail, 1280 by 720. You can see you've got the different templates here. You can just substitute the image for your own image. Here's a simple one. Here you've got the colored background behind the text. Here you've got the text that matches the shirt on the girl. Here you've got a colored overlay. Here you've got the image on the right and then a colored background behind the text. Here you've got an image and then you've got a shape with the text on top. And here you've got a beautiful image that you can replace with your own and with the text on top. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to use this particular template, and we're going to get rid of this eye makeup tutorial. So just click on that, click trash, click again, click trash. Then we'll replace the image with my own image. So I'm going to click uploads. Maybe I'll use this fishing image here. Let's move it in here. Then I can also expand it if I wish. And then I just click on the text, and then I can change it to a different font if I want. So I've got Oswald here, but I can change it to a different font like Norwester. And I can change the color. So I can change it to yellow, for instance. Then I just change the text. So I can highlight it, center align it, and I can even increase the text, go down to 80, and I can just move it around as I wish. It's a quick and easy way to create your own thumbnail just by using the templates on Canva. So it's a Canva demonstration, kind of a quick one, just using templates that are provided for you. They keep on adding new templates to Canva, and all you have to do is switch out the images. You got tons of text that you can change as well. And I didn't show you on that clip, but there are ways that you can even blur images. You can add saturation to the images or to your face, etc. You can quickly expand, expand and contract. And it also, there's a free Canva app you can put on your phone, so you could even create thumbnails on the go, while you're out and about. Wouldn't really recommend it, but it's a great tool that's free, and you can create thumbnails quickly and easily. The only thing it doesn't have is a split testing feature, and I know the free version you can't remove the background, but I think with the paid version, maybe Chris, you can chime in here. I think with the paid version, if anybody has the paid version of Canva, I think they recently added the ability to remove the background, so of an image. So maybe somebody can confirm that. But it looks like we've got a lot of Canva people here. Yeah, so Pommy Pickers, let me see. Pommy Pickers says Canva has a referral code to earn free points for buying some images. So yeah, a lot of the images are like, I think they're like $1, but they have a lot of free images, or you can get images from, I think Chris had mentioned, Pixels, Pixabay. There's lots of free places on the net where you can get commercial free images, and you just download that and upload it to Canva, and you can use that in your thumbnails. But that's good to know. Thanks for that, Pommy. Hey, I like that kangaroo there. And Gabrielle saying I always make my thumbnails on the black Canva template. Oh, that's good to know. And Chris says, I know there's a way to make videos in Canva. Well, I didn't know about that, but I have to explore that one. But yeah, that was the Canva demonstration. Let me move on here. So here's the best apps. So maybe you don't want to create a thumbnail on your computer, but these are some of the best mobile apps for Android and iPhone. So Snapseed is free, has no ads, and I know a lot of photographers use that. I'm not going to show you a demo on that because I don't have it on my phone. Canva I've used before, and you can, pretty much what you see on your computer, you can pretty much do the same on your phone. InShot is very popular because it's free, and you can use it to create YouTube thumbnails, Instagram images, and also for IGTV. So these are, you can rescale that thumbnail image that you created for YouTube. You can rescale it for Instagram and IGTV. And I think Capwing, which I use quite often, you can also quickly rescale images using Capwing. So all you have to do is just click one by one, or just click the rescale options, and it'll quickly rescale your image to suit Instagram, IGTV, Facebook, etc. Then we've also got PicMonkey as a mobile app. We've got Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom, which somebody in my Facebook group talked about that they're using that. And Pixel Labs is another popular one as well. So these are some of the best YouTube thumbnail creation apps that you can use if you want to use your phone. So we're going to move on now to talk a bit about the thumbnail split test. I've been using it quite a bit, and here on the left it says the test is complete. So this is the legend version of TubeBuddy. So if you don't have TubeBuddy, you can just go to tubebuddy.com/iSiteBuild. I'll show you that later. But if you use the promo code Herman's Buddy, you can get 20% off any of the paid options. But on the left here, you've got test is complete. Based on the click-through rate, the variation version of your video outperformed the original by 69%. So first I did the let's move this one up a bit. First I did the blue background, and then the yellow and red, and then I created another one with just the variation version with doing the black. Here you can see here, make slideshow video, and I just use black and red and white, just 3 different colors. And as a result of the thumbnail test, this was over a couple of weeks, the variation, one with a black background, outperformed the original by 69%. So I don't know why. Sometimes you don't know why, but the data doesn't lie. And here on the right was another test which I started a few days ago. This was, I think, one of my live streams I did a couple of weeks ago, and I created this thumbnail with the dollar bills and then a money piggy bank. I thought it did a pretty good job, and then I split tested it with this other one here. I'll move this up. Without 1,000 subs. So that's currently doing a split test, and I kind of have a suspicion that the variation is going to do better than my original. So it's pretty handy, this A/B split testing feature. But if you have the thumbnail blaster, then you can also split test your thumbnails. But the good thing about split testing is that sometimes you don't know, did I create a great thumbnail or not? So, and you can keep split testing. You can split test 2 different thumbnails, and then the variation does better. And then you can create another thumbnail and try to do better than the one that beat your original. And so you can keep on, so long as you got traffic coming to your video, then you can try to create better thumbnails. You can probably, you can either outsource it or try to create a better one yourself. But don't, if you don't have any traffic coming to your video, then changing the title or changing the thumbnail is probably not going to make a difference to your traffic, because you don't have any nobody's watching your video. So you have to have some traffic. So if you have some old videos that are doing well or getting traffic on your channel, but you want to try to attract more traffic, then maybe switch out the thumbnail with a different thumbnail. And I know a couple of YouTubers that they changed a lot of their thumbnails and their channel took off. So it's something you could try. Is just, if you have traffic going to your videos, then try split testing some thumbnails, try a different thumbnail. Okay, so that's about split testing. Also want to talk about if you want to get thumbnails done for you, if you want to have some amazing, awesome thumbnails done for you instead of doing it yourself. So recently I linked up with a graphic designer that does amazing work. And so I thought, well, some people just, they don't have the graphics experience. They want to save time. They want to get a better click-through rate on their thumbnails. They want to get more videos into suggested videos. They want to get more views. They want to get more subscribers. They want to make more money from their ads. So the good thing about, I think the pros of getting your thumbnail creation outsourced by a professional graphics designer is that maybe you think your thumbnails are great, but maybe if you experiment with like an amazing, awesome design from a professional graphics designer, that it might triple your views. What if you could double your views or triple your views to your videos, ones that are getting traffic already? Then that could result in a great growth of your channel. So if you're interested in that, then think about getting your thumbnails done for you. And I just want to show you some of this before and after thumbnails. So these are just thumbnails that were created, that were outsourced. So the original thumbnails on the left, and then the new created thumbnails on the right. So you can see the much better, much bolder colors, much bolder text, and they stand out more than the ones on the left. So I don't have any statistics for these thumbnails, but probably going forward, I'd probably try to get some statistics. If it improved the click-through rate, improved the traffic, etc. Well, here's one of my, so I'll move this up a bit, split test that, as I showed you before, and then I outsourced that thumbnail, that particular one. So let me move this one up. So this was probably not a complete test, because the second thumbnail I just just did the split test probably a few days ago. But already TubeBuddy is saying currently the variation is performing 25% better than the original. So this new thumbnail that I got designed is doing 25% better than the original. So just kind of, something to think about if you want to get an amazing, awesome thumbnail created. Let's move this down again. I even set up a website. Stop wasting time designing thumbnails that don't get the click. So get a professional thumbnail designed within 24 hours. So, oh, hi, Traveling with Bruce. Good to see you. So, so if you want to get your thumbnails outsourced, designed by a professional, then you can go to drostvideo.com/thumbnails done for you. Check that out. And if you want to know the prices, then you can get 4 thumbnails for $80, so it's like $20 a thumbnail. If you want to get 10 thumbnails done, which most people go for, it's like $150, so 15 per thumbnail. And the advanced one is like 20 custom thumbnails. But with all of these, you get unlimited revisions, 24-hour turnaround. And so I kind of put like the basic 4 thumbnails is perfect for if you're just uploading like 1 video a week. So, and then if you're uploading 2 videos a week, then 2 or 3 videos a week, then you might look at the Pro package, and you get 10 thumbnails, unlimited revisions, 24-hour turnaround, and you can also the credits. If you don't use them all up, then you can still use those credits for the next month. And then the advanced is like 20 video. Say if you do 20 videos per month. So that's just another option that, if you don't want to create your own, you can get an amazing design. You can save time, improve the click-through rate on your videos, push your potential to get your videos into suggested videos, because more people are loving your thumbnail, and as a result you get more views, more subscribers, and make more money if your channel is monetized. Oh, okay, got a question here too on Pommy Pickers is saying, get that over. Would you recommend revisiting older videos and spending time redoing the thumbnails? Yes. The caveat to that is make sure that those particular videos are getting traffic. So if those videos are no longer getting traffic, then that means people, they're not getting found in the search engine. So I would choose maybe choose your top 10 or 20 videos and redo some of those thumbnails. Maybe you can start off small, like redo like 3 or 4 thumbnails, and then split test them, or see if if you start getting more traffic, or you're getting more subscribers, or the click-through rate is improving. So it's you're going to have to give it a while, because for YouTube to kind of look at the thumbnail again, or if you redo the title. But I definitely look at top 10 or 20 videos, and if you think you can do better with the thumbnails, then definitely redo them. The good thing is that you don't have to download the video. You can keep the video on YouTube, and you can just upload a different thumbnail. So that's a great thing about it. Oh, Traveling with Bruce says, just popping to say hi. Started watching when I had 31 subs 2.5 years ago. Today, 42,900. Awesome. Congratulations, Bruce. Must be doing something right. What graphic software are you using, Bruce, for your thumbnails? Okay, so going back to thumbnails done for you, I talked about that. And then I also want to talk about mistakes. So a lot of people make thumbnail mistakes, and when I first started creating thumbnails, then I made a lot of mistakes. So one of the mistakes is that it's not mobile friendly. It looks beautiful on your computer, but when you shrink it down to a little image on your phone, then all that beautiful text that you put on there is not readable. So it could blend into the background. It could be too small. It could be the wrong kind of font. Some people use like handwritten font. You can't read it very well, so you got to make it bold and big. And then also that your thumbnail is kind of cluttered up. You have too many things going on. Some people spend hours and hours creating a thumbnail and doing many different layers in the thumbnail, and it looks so busy, but it kind of puts you off because it's not clear to the people that are viewing it in the search engines. And then sometimes the images are blurry. So if you can sharpen up your image, like if you take a photo, while you're making your video, then it might look sharp on your computer, but when you reduce it to a small size, it doesn't look very clear. So what I recommend is to try to sharpen up the image. I know in Canva you can blur it, or you can move the slider up, to maximize the non-blur, make it sharper, and you can improve the saturation. So improve saturation, improve the sharpness. If you improve the saturation and improve the sharpness, then it'll be clearer at a small design. So small text, if you have this text is too small, then it's not readable. Some people put too much text, so they put like 6 words into the thumbnail. So then that is too much. Sometimes you can get away without text, just use an image itself, and other times you can just use like 1 or 2 words. And color's not complementary. So try not to mix up colors that don't complement each other. You can Google color wheel and it'll show you the colors that complement each other, and then you can use that in your thumbnail. Another thing is that you don't want to do is using a screenshot. So if you use a screenshot from your video, it tends to not be as sharp as taking a real photo from your camera. So use sharp images for your thumbnails. Oh, and also Traveling with Bruce has got another tip for us here. I like to have 2 or 3 photos on the bottom of my thumbnail and then put a yellow background banner on top 2/3 with a bold red title for contrast. So yeah, if anybody wants to check out his thumbnails, go to Traveling with Bruce. Check that out for thumbnail creation. And he also says that I also make sure that I have my image on every thumbnail, keep a consistent look and feel. Most of these ideas come from me over the years. Oh, thanks, Bruce. Yeah, so yeah, it just I think thumbnail creation, if you do it yourself, you can only get better. Like making your videos only gets better. If you look at my first video, I kind of cringe, but I'm sure everybody else does. But same with your thumbnails, could be blurry, not very sharp, but you get better with practice. So you look at your competitors, look at the top videos in your niche, and then try to do better or do different than they are. So great tips. Some other things that you shouldn't be doing. No branding. So maybe a face is good. I try to use my face in the thumbnail, so if people see the thumbnail in the search engines, they immediately, I don't have to put a logo there because the face is like a logo. People know that it belongs to my channel. Don't use clickbaity images because that's against YouTube's terms of service. So if you use a clickbaity image that doesn't, your video doesn't mesh, doesn't complement the image, then you're going to have a high click-through rate initially, and then you have a low average view duration. And so that means that your video is not watched all the way through, and then your click-through rate will go down. So you might have initial high click-through rate because people are clicking on your image because it's clickbaity, but then when they watch your video, they see that's not what you promised in your thumbnail and your title. So as a result, your it's a clickbaity image, and that could be against YouTube's terms of service. And as I mentioned before, you don't want to cover the timestamp in the bottom right hand corner of your thumbnail. You don't want to repeat the title that you have for your video in the thumbnail. You can use maybe a couple of words, or maybe try to think of alternative words that you could use. So you can use something like the thesaurus or LSI graph to look for words that mean the same but spelt or sound different. And then not improving. Some channels, they haven't made any changes to their thumbnails, so you always want to keep on improving your thumbnails. What is it that the audience likes? What is it that causes people to click on the thumbnails? So just like Bruce was saying, over the years he learned what works, what doesn't work. So you have to keep on testing your thumbnails, keep on testing what works in your videos to make people, keep people watching throughout your video. So just keep in mind that the click-through rate is not everything, because if people click on your thumbnail, but then your click-through rate or what was I saying? I just got distracted by my camera then. Hope it's not run out of batteries. But average view duration. So if you have a low average view duration, that means people are not watching your video. So you might have a great thumbnail, but then people are not watching your video. Then that's not good. So the nirvana, or the YouTube heaven, is to have a high click-through rate, high average view duration, and then your video will get pushed out to suggested videos. So that's what you should aim for: high click-through rate, high average view duration, high audience retention, high average percentage viewed. So Lego Build is saying, I'm using a red Lego background, probably because you're a Lego channel, aren't you? Yes, a Lego channel. So Lego Builder. So yeah, definitely you want to use the colors. When I think of Lego, I think of very bright colors. So I definitely would have bright colors in your thumbnails. So my wife runs a daycare, and we have Legos all around the house for the kids. So definitely bright colors. And then Bruce is also saying that try to use similar words on my thumbnail to match my title and my first few lines in my description and my tags. So when you optimize your video, you definitely want the great thumbnail, a title that has your main keyword phrase in there, then a compelling some compelling line that's attached to the title that compels viewers to want to check out your video, so that your title and your thumbnail work together. And then in your description, which is not a huge ranking factor, but people do read the first 3 lines of description. So you want to put your summarize the content of your video in the description with your keyword phrase in there. So that's definitely a good tip. Okay, so if you have any questions about thumbnail creation, I'll put the question here. So thumbnail creation, then put them in the chat. Or if you're watching a replay, then put them in the comments. But I'll just mention some of the resources here that I showed you before, in case you didn't find them. If you're not a member of my Facebook group, you can get feedback on your thumbnails. You can interact with like-minded people. So that's I think I've showed it there. Let's see. I can see it there. So that's facebook.com/groups/2video bootcamp. Then if you want to get your thumbnails done for you, there's the link there. Thumbnail Blaster, if you want to create your own thumbnails and be able to split test them, then Thumbnail Blaster is great. And if you don't have TubeBuddy yet, I highly recommend it for keyword research. You can also create your thumbnails with it. But you can use Herman's Buddy to get 20% off. And then if you need step-by-step instructions to grow your YouTube channel, then you can get the YouTube Marketing Blueprint at tubebootcamp.com. So those are just some resources that you might find helpful. If you like this live stream, give it a like. If you have any other questions, I think I think I've pretty much covered everything, but I think when it comes to thumbnails, a big thing is to, if you're making your own thumbnails, definitely want to keep practicing. The easiest way to get started is really to just use the templates that are in Thumbnail Blast, or if using Canva, use the templates there, and you can just switch out the text, switch out the images that you want to use. Just create a photo of yourself if you put your face in your thumbnail, and then upload it into Canva, and then you can just move, drag and drop it onto the canvas, and you've got your thumbnail created. And that I think I highly recommend, definitely split testing your thumbnails, because what you think is a great thumbnail may not necessarily be great, because sometimes you can't be objective. But you can also ask in the Facebook group, what do you think of this thumbnail? Sometimes when I ask people, which thumbnail would you choose, then they choose a thumbnail that I think was better, and then I do a split test with the split testing feature, and the data doesn't lie. It tells you what people are clicking on. So I highly recommend, kind of split testing your thumbnails. And then, if you want to save time, you want to try getting an awesome thumbnail or thumbnails created for you, then definitely look at those thumbnail creation plans that I showed you, and you might just try them out. For like $15 a thumbnail's not too bad, and you might get a lot more people click on your thumbnails, more traffic, leads, subscribers, and make more money. So yeah, thanks everybody for attending today's live stream, and for your questions, for your comments, for your tips. If you have any other suggestions for future live streams, or what maybe something you're struggling with that needs to be addressed, and we can kind of dive into it, take kind of a deep dive into it, then let me know in the comments or on the Facebook group, and we'll talk about it in the next live stream. So have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.